Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I think I would like to start by really appreciating you, all of you being here on time. I know I'd said okay, between 8:30 and 9:30, we'd be doing the registrations and stuff, and a lot of you were here on time. So that's excellent. I think that's a great start to our week. So welcome to Islamabad, and for people who joining us from Islamabad, welcome to the final week of this course. We would like to start off by inviting Muhammad Azam Saab to recite something from the Quran. From the Quran, Azam Saab, please. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب المشرق والمغرب لا إله إلا هو فاتخذه وكيلا واصبر على ما يقولون واهجرهم هجرا جميلا وذرني والمكذبين أولي النعمة ومهلهم قليلا إن لدينا أنكالا وجحيما صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah. So once again, welcome to the face-to-face week for the social protection course. We will be covering modules 4 and 5 for the next 5 days, and we will then have our closing event on Friday, which is the 13th of October. I would like to start by just acknowledging the effort that has gone into putting all of this together. So people from SDPI, Hassan Qasim Saab, Dr. Sajid, Dr. Fariha, Rabia, Salahuddin, and everyone involved from SDPI, from my team as well. There are a lot of people behind the scenes who we don't maybe see in the front, but people like Nimra and Rashid Saab, who's going to be with us for the entire week. It's a lot of thanks to them for all of their efforts for putting this together. And of course, from GIZ, Naima, Maria, Laura, all of you. I mean, it's been a wonderful, 2 months or just a wonderful couple of months coordinating with you and putting all of this together. So let's start maybe by giving all of you a round of applause. And then I would also like our participants to give yourselves a round of applause. I will be very honest. I mean, these last 2 months, I have been very, very positively impressed by your availability and your participation. I know that 2 Zoom clinics a week is maybe sometimes a bit too much considering that you have other responsibilities as well, but you've been very actively participating. You've been active in the forum. You've been, bringing up questions. And I think we would like to continue that into this week as well. We would like to continue having those discussions. We'll have a lot of activities where we get to interact in groups. Take advantage of the fact that you have people from different provinces with you as well. So maybe when we do group work, we don't necessarily need to sit with participants from, let's say, within the same province that we come from. So we'll try to make sure that there are opportunities for you to collaborate across provinces as well. Having said that, a very warm welcome once again to all of you to the final week of this course. And I will now invite Qasim Saab to say a few words, and we'll then move onwards and try to get this started on time.
Thank you so much, Maheen. Assalamu alaikum. It's indeed with pleasure for me to be here with you this morning. I'm thankful to you for taking out time for this face-to-face session and coming from different regions of Pakistan to Islamabad for this course. Indeed, this is a great opportunity, as Maheen said, not just to interact with each other, but also to resolve some of the riddles which are still existing from the previous weeks. And also, this is an opportunity for you to interact and enter into a bonding which is called the network. which can be life lasting. And as long as you are working in this domain, perhaps this networking can help you not just to understand the problems which you are facing, but also to discuss and reach out some of the solutions which might be possible only after a discussion with a couple of peers who have experience of working in this domain and might be working in a different context, in a different province, in a different region. And perhaps that learning, that the lessons which he or she has from the kind of problems he or she was facing during designing or during the implementation of these social protection programs across Pakistan, perhaps will help you to better understand and grapple with the problem easily. I don't really want to stay longer here, but thank you again for taking out time and joining us here for the face-to-face session. And I look forward to the deliberations today and in the days to come. And hopefully we will have a great opportunity to interact during these 5 days with each other and learn from each other. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Qasim Saab. So before I invite Franz, who is the program leader for the Social Protection, Social Health Protection Program with GIZ, I would also like all of us to go maybe around the room and introduce ourselves. So if we could just start from this side, maybe let's just say your name and your affiliation and the province or region where you are joining us from. Thank you.
I'm suffering from Zukam. My name is Dr. Inayatullah. I'm from NUST Islamabad, Assistant Professor of Government and Public Policy. And I'm looking forward to interacting with all of you. Thank you so much.
I'm Dr. Khan Mohammed.
I'm Dr. Khan Mohammed and Assistant Professor and Capitator.
I am Raza Shamsi. I am from Punjab Vocational Training Council, working as a Senior Manager of Human Resources.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Raja Masroor Hassan, and I am serving as Chief Sustainable Development Goals in Planning and Development Department, Government of Sindh, and I have come all the way from Karachi, and thanks for your hospitality.
Assalamu alaikum. Myself Tariq Kamil Arif, serving in HSG Section, Planning and Development Department, Government of Sindh. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Idris Ahmed. I'm working as Assistant Chief in Planning and Development Department, Gilgit.
Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Amna Durrani and I'm the Director Programs with the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Commission on the Status of Women based in Peshawar.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Nasreen Akhtar, Assistant Director, Social Welfare Department, Government of HJK.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Khalid Mahmood Anjam, Statistical Officer, Punjab Social Protection Authority, Lahore.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all. My name is Ahmed Wasim Qureshi. I'm Chief Social Welfare Women Development in Planning and Development Department, Government of Azad Jammu and Kashmir.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Nisar Khan. I'm working as a Director of Finance, KP Employees Social Security Labor Department.
I'm working in the Ministry of Poverty Alleviation as a Social Protection Specialist and as a Director of Protocol. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Qasim Zafar, Director Projects, Pakistan Baitul Mal.
No sound. No, you have.
Fine. Sana, Director Research and Monitoring, Sehat Tahaffuz Program, Ministry of Poverty Alleviation, Social Safety.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Mehwin Shadil. I'm currently working as an Assistant Director in Social Health Protection Initiative, Peshawar Health Department.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Faryal Amin, in charge Shelter Home for Women in Bahawalpur from Social Welfare Department.
Assalamu alaikum. Tamina Gulzar here, Deputy Director, Benazir Income Support Program, Islamabad.
Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Teepa Masood, working as Medical Director, Sayyid Tahafiz Program under Ministry of Poverty Alleviation and Social Safety.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी, मेरा नाम नबीला राना है और मैं PPF से हूँ, इंटरेस्ट फ्री लोन प्रोग्राम के साथ।
Mohammad Junaid Atasham, Assistant Director, Provincial Disaster Management Authority, Punjab.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Subhatullah and I'm from PP and SPRU, PND Department, KPK, and working as a IT associate.
Assalamu alaikum. Hazrat Bilal Yusuf, Chief Officer, PND Department, Peshawar.
Assalamu alaikum. Muawiz Malik from Zakat Commission Department, Punjab.
Assalamu alaikum ji. This is Muhammad Asif. I am working with the Punjab Health Initiative Management Company on SSP project as a deputy manager.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Awais Qazi. I'm serving the Social Protection Reforms Unit, PND Department, KP.
Assalamu alaikum ji, and good morning to all. I'm Ijaz Muhammad Khan. I'm working as a Deputy Chief Child Protection and Welfare Commission, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Assalamu alaikum ji. My name is Muhammad Azam, Deputy Director, Social Welfare Department, KP.
Assalamu alaikum. Khalid Majid, Trust for Voluntary Organizations, Islamabad.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Saeed Abbasi. I am also from TVU, Trust for Voluntary Organizations.
Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad Umar Javed Bhatt, Assistant Director Training from TAPTA, Punjab.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Lutfur Rahman, Director Research, PND Balochistan.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. Taimur Khan from Punjab Health Initiative Management Company, Manager Health Initiatives.
Morning. This is Umar Sheikh from Punjab Social Protection Authority. I'm GM Communication over there. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad Mubarak here from PSPA, Evaluation Officer.
Thank you, everyone. Sir, Jamil sir, agar aap bhi introduce karwa deं. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. It's Jamil Afridi from Zakat Usher Department, Assistant Director IT. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I would now like to invite Dr. Franz to join us and speak a little bit about, the course and the expectations that he would have from you over the next 5 days.
Thank you very much. Could I have that whiteboard, please? This flip chart there, please. No, I have. Yeah, I've already prepared it. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Some ceremonial things. I'm really happy to at least see all of you once. This is, of course, I'm responsible for the GIZ contribution to this program, which is, of course, a training program by the government of Pakistan for people working for or dealing with the government of Pakistan in developing social protection in this country, or let's rather say for developing a new generation of social protection in this country, because, of course, this country has had different forms of social protection ever since its foundation and before that, with the family or tribal structures being the prototypes that you all know. So I'm glad I see this, and yes, indeed, I'm also glad that I've been invited to tell you a little bit about my expectations rather than going too much into ceremonial stuff. Yes, but it's not for the next 5 days, my expectations. They're actually for the next 25 years, because to build anything in a social protection program, it takes 25 years. You can take this as a rule of thumb. If you ever want to understand why politicians have such a difficult time in supporting you who are building this, it's because they have to change their targets and objectives and so on, and the goodies that they give to the populace every 3 or 4 years. Whereas a meaningful development takes 25 years. So there is a real dilemma for everybody in how to do this. So one of the things that is going to be taught in these next 5 days is of extreme importance, and that's the coordination. But that would take me back to an even more basic idea that I would like you to discuss further, and as much as you can in this course, because you're all pioneers in this development. And if you don't do anything, then most others will have even less competence in doing it. So you are really spearheading a movement, and much depends on you people. So think of the word social protection. Just think of it, what it really means. There are two parts in this. One is the protection, and the other is the social. Social does not mean that the poor get something for social reasons. That's very often it's being taken like that, but that's not what it means. Social means that there are shared responsibilities. Social means being social beings instead of being groups of individuals. Yeah, that means that one agrees to be part and parcel for good and for bad, in good weather and in bad weather, to be together with the others. That's what it means. So it can be translated into solidarity. So any social protection fund can only exist if people have decided to, instead of pulling out the money that is needed to help others in a crisis, that they actually commit these means before the crisis hits. Yeah, to have to be able to move forward as a society in the times when this is needed. That's all. It's like putting fuel in the tank when you go on a long car trip. Yeah, and not hoping that every 5 kilometers or 10 or 20, you can just find another fueling station and you just can move on. So that's what it is. And because you're in the middle of a fight against structural poverty, one always tends to think it's not like that. It's all about, first of all, let's help those poor. Sorry, it's not. Because every time you help somebody poor here, somebody else who's not poor had to cough up the money before it actually, it can get to that poor person. You may not notice it because maybe you're only administrators, you're just passing it on, but you have to remember this if you really want to think and act social protection. Yeah. So passing on the money to the poor is not social protection. That's just a very small part of it, and hopefully in the future, it should be a very small part of it. Okay, so that's why I think some of the coordination which is one of the topics here, and adaptive social protection is another one, which doesn't even have a modular number I've seen, so it's like outside the modules, but I would definitely say adaptive social protection is probably module number 1, yeah, because of the word adaptive. In a changing environment, and hopefully in an environment where there will be less manifest poverty and more people at risk of falling back into poverty, which is the real fight against poverty. Yeah, and that means adaptive means that you also think about the future and not only about the present to sort out the problems now of poverty, but to find ways of preventing poverties in the future and helping those who are in the future will be in danger of falling back into poverty, that you think of those before they fall back into poverty. So that is adaptive. Okay, so let me just show you where I think we are. And oh, one more thing. So I've seen that there are people from all provinces. There are people from all the different departments that are required to produce meaningful social protection, because nobody can do it alone. The last are, if you ever have a social protection agency, sorry, PSPA, those are the last ones who can do something alone. Yeah, they cannot produce, and I don't think they pretend that they can produce social protection. They're an agency, they're an agent. Yeah, so they help others to do this. So without the others doing something with their agency, they are nothing. So I would like to repeat what has been said before me. When you go into those groups and discuss these things, not only try to mix a little bit more, mix it in such a way that you can simulate and experience what it means to do your job for social protection in the context of coordinating with others, which is the only way that any one of you can do their job. Nobody can do their job alone. All of you have to do it with at least one other, but I would say probably mostly with 2 or 3 other agencies who are not necessarily used to working together, and there are no organized forms yet how to do this. So even though you may be just functionaries in some apparatus, and yet the apparatus you're working in is very unlikely to already have the working methods that are needed in order to run social protection. So you are pioneers also, even as just mid-level functionaries in your organizations. You have to think as pioneers, and you have to have your own understanding of what a systemic approach looks like. And only later, in 10 years maybe, the generations who follow in your footsteps, in your positions, will be able to say, I'm just doing my job, following my rules, and that's why I do something for social protection. This is not the case for you. And now I show you, I think, why, if I may. Sorry if I take too much time, but this is not a duck. Something like dragon. And there is something called the poverty line, right? Okay, let's draw it. What are the proportions? How many poor people are in this country? What's the proportion of poverty? 60% poor. 70. So the poverty line is dividing one part, which is the non-poor, of 30%, and 7% are the poor. I read the official figure. There are official figures. It was 40, 39 or something. Let's use that one. It doesn't make much of a difference, but let's use that one because that's also the one that helps decide who should get money because they're poor, etc. So lots of official policy depend on this official line. But I would agree with you that that is debatable, and that's one of my points. So let's say this is 40 and this is 60. And I'm sorry, I don't mean that I said all the poor are in Balochistan and NKP. No, that's not what I mean here. It's just the number of people, the population of this country, if they were living evenly in all the things. We could also do a landscape of where you are positioned and put it here. Yeah, and then see whether all that are needed for the coordination are not only existing in Pakistan, but are in place to be able to do something meaningful. Because we could do a statistic, and maybe for the whole of Pakistan, you guys, you're enough to do the coordination of the different parts, yeah? And you could just deal with making sure that the 60% do something for the 40%. That's my next thing. Solidarity means that the job now is that you have is to make sure that those 60% do something for the 40%, yeah? Because nobody else will do it. Unless you go to the World Bank and you take up a loan, and then everybody says, wink, wink, 50 years, and then maybe we just forget it. Huh? So you've just gotten a little, but that's the abnormal situation. The normal situation is whatever the 40% get comes from the 60%. And then comes, so that's solidarity. So every time you give something to the poor, which is easier, because if your job is just to give to the poor, it's easy because they will only ask you to do that as long as there's some money for it. So that's an easy job. But the other ones who have to make sure that this money comes, they're also there. And those are the ones you need to coordinate with, because they will hope that you have to dish out as little as possible. How do they hope that? By asking you to also get people out of poverty. Why? Because to reduce the number who need this money, which is vast, but no, not only, and that's my point, that's why I'm doing this here. To make sure that these people start giving instead of taking. So that's the graduation part. That's not, finally, I don't have to beg anymore. That's not graduation. Graduation is, finally, I can contribute something to the poor instead of receiving something. So the moment people get out of this poverty and they graduate, you have to understand, those are the sources of the funding that you need to help the poor. Okay? That's very often forgotten. No, it's like that. And since there's always people falling into poverty, I think that's in the nature of humans who don't care for a certain level of, we create this poverty line. So we're also, it's an illusion to think that this will ever stop. There will always be people who fall into poverty. But the question is, are there more people getting out of poverty than they're falling into poverty? That's the real game that you have. Thank you. So I think I'm going to stop almost there, because I think in my words, I hope you recognize just about every topic that you're touching in this whole course. Yeah, I think it should all be in there, and I think if you keep these ideas in mind, then everything will make sense and fall into place with the other parts. That's and so my expectation for you is very clearly, take yourselves not as functionaries who do a very good job in their job, thanks to the knowledge and so on. You are pioneers, and you have to think of doing things that your organizations are not necessarily expecting you to do. And whatever you do, learn how to do it with the other organizations that are necessary to produce social protection. Thank you very much.